Okay, this is the gun we'll be reloading for. This is the Stag Arms 223 AR-15. This is the A3 model. I've customized it to make it my own. There are a lot out there, but this one's mine, and I love it. I've shot over 1,500 rounds through it so far. That were all reloaded rounds, and this gun has performed very accurately, very smoothly. I love this gun. Okay, this is what you're going to do as soon as you get home from the range. You're just going to throw those dirty spent cases right into the tumbler. Let it run for about 5 hours. Now what tumbling does is it cleans up the cases, and it makes it easier to inspect them for damage. It also, so you don't damage your dies when you run them through. Dirty cases does have a chance of damage your die. And of course it looks nice, you want to take some pride into your art, because reloading is an art. I keep them in for about 5 hours, like I said, but anything after 5 hours, take a look at your media. You might want to change them out. Okay, after about 5 hours, here's what they will look like, nice and shiny, almost like new. Next is running them through the resizing die. I run them through the resizing die before I inspect them, because when you lube your case to run them through the resizing die, there is a chance of them to get dented around the shoulder, because that's because of an excess amount of lube. Now, and then you inspect the case. But it's very important that you lube that case before you run them through the resizing die, because if you don't, the case will get stuck, and it is a lot of trouble to get that case out of the resizing die. These are the 5 cases we'll be working with. What I use to lube them is car oil. Alright, synthetic car oil. That's what I use to lube all my guns. What I use to lube all my cases, reloading pistols and rifle rounds, and works great. Now, like I said, you're not going to want to over lube them. Just a nice thin coat, You're also going to want to lube up the inside of the mouth of the case, because the resizing die, like I said, resizes the whole case, even the mouth, and it also punches out the primer. Okay, so let's lube it up and run them through the die. Okay, as we lube these cases, keep in mind that you don't want a lot of lube, because that will cause denting. Now, since we're only doing 5 cases, I'm just dipping my finger into this cap that I poured a little lube in, and I'm just putting a nice light coat on it. Okay. Now, after we do the outside of the body, we're going to take this nylon fixture here that I use to clean the rifle. And we're going to dip it into the cap to get some lube on the tip, and then get the inside of the mouth. Okay, now that they're all lubed up, we'll run them through the resizing die. Now, like I said, it resizes the whole case at the same time. It punches out the primer. Alright, and this is back to factory spec after these are resized. Last one. This is about this. That's it, man. Now all these 5 cases are resized. After you've resized the cases and you've inspected them for any cracks, any dents, any damage at all, and they pass, now it's time to trim them. Your reloading book will tell you what the case trim length is. In the Hornady reloading book, it says the 223 case trim length is 1.750 inches. An easy way to set your case trimming length is to use a case from any previous reloading process to use as a gauge. you can use that case and just set it up into the case trimmer, and it'll be all set, ready to go from then on. If it's your first time, then you're going to have to use a trial and error method, you know. Okay, let's run these through the case trimmer. We'll take the case, insert it into the shell holder, and then start trimming it. You can actually feel the blade stop cutting, and that means that it is at its set depth and it won't cut anymore. And if your depth is set correctly, it'll be at 1.75 inches. After I trim these last two up, we'll take a reading on it. You're going to have to use a pair of calipers to measure your cases. Now that reads 1.749, which is 1/1000th of an inch off, but it is still okay. Same with that one. Now this is 1.749.5. Now, we are pretty much dead on. Okay, next is deburring and chamfering the mouth of the case. This gets rid of any unwanted burrs left on the mouth after trimming it. You would want to get rid of these burrs so it will action smoothly through your rifle. You don't want any burrs getting caught up while the gun is loading around into the chamber. That's not good. Okay, to deburr the cases, you're going to insert the deburring tool inside of the case mouth and turn it, not just ever so slightly. You don't want to take too much off on the inside because you don't want to create a point. You know, you don't want to create a sharp edge. You still want it to be flat. And after you do the inside, you're going to chamfer it. And you do the same thing, just do it a little bit, just enough to get rid of the burr. Now this will cause a lot of shavings. Now these cases are still lubed, and all of these shavings are being collected. Now after we're done deburring and chamfering, what we're going to want to do is throw them back into the tumbler. Now I throw them back in the tumbler for about a half hour to get rid of any shavings, that excess shavings you don't want at all, and to get rid of the lube. Okay? So like I said, let me just do it again. To chamfer, you just put it around and you're twisting it a little bit. Same thing on the inside. And be sure not to create an edge. Next is cleaning out the primer pocket. As you can see, the primer pockets are pretty dirty from the explosion of the primer. Now you do this by using the primer pocket cleaning tool. Yes, there will be shavings after you clean out the pocket, but you can just tap it out real quick. Also, by tumbling the cases before you clean out the pocket, it takes off any lube. So you will be able to have some grip when you clean the case. It's hard to clean out the primer pocket if you can't grip the case. By cleaning out the primer pocket, you reform the pocket and clean it out at the same time. This will ensure a secure, uniform fit for your primer when you press it in. An added note, after you clean out the primer pocket, check inside of the flash hole to see if there is any tumbling media left over that got stuck in there. If there is, take something and poke it out, because you don't want that being stuck in there when you fire that round. So you take your primer pocket cleaning tool and you insert it into the primer pocket and you just turn it a couple times and tap out any soot. Just do it until it's clean. And at the same time, like I said before, it's reforming the pocket hole. And I'm checking these to see if there's any tumbling media left over in the flash hole, which so far there is not. So as you can see now, the flash holes are now clean.